Hi, everybody. We are live on Facebook tonight, this Friday night from New York City, from my home. It's the 112th show. I'm so excited about this one because I love all of my guests. And I hate to say it, they are the power of the city right here. They always have those lists like 30 under 30 or whatever. This is 33 under 33. They are some of the most powerful people in New York City that I've been able to meet. And I just want to learn how they're doing it. And I think you are going to learn so much from watching this show about how this is a movement. This is more than a moment. This is a movement. And these three young leaders are going to tell us why that is and how they're really making it happen in their communities. They're ones to watch, really. First, we've got, of course, Mabel Gabernedin. I always mess up your name, but you're 33-year-old mother of 3 boys, and she organized a family march. And let me tell you, over 300 parents were there with their kids outside the Barclays. It was an amazing event. I'll never forget it. And what's her secret weapon? It's Kiara Williams right there. Kiara in Soho, there she is. She has an organization, of course, called Leader. She's a leader of the Warriors in the Garden, 20 years old. She uses social media really to galvanize and energize the youth. But James Johnson is one of my favorites. We were in Hollis, and he pretty much is the mayor of New York City. He decided to have a rally on a Wednesday afternoon. You know how hard that is to do? And literally, over 300 young people packed the streets of Hollis Avenue. And he says it's not just because of social media, the power of social media, it's because of his street credibility and his ties to the community. I want to learn more about that. But first, we're going to start with Mabel. Mabel, what an amazing, I'm going to call it Mabel's movement. You're just a mom who is a music manager by day. You don't have any spare time. You've got all these babies. And here you are. You started a movement. How did you do this? And how young do you start, really?
I say start them as early as you can. Start them in the womb if you can. My youngest
activism is a good thing for everybody. And I can't wait to show people. You had your 1-year-old on your back, literally, while you were doing this protest right on Wednesday.
Yeah, it was actually on Tuesday, and it was
Tuesday.
It was amazing. I'm still shocked by it. I can't believe it happened. I'm so happy about it. It was really an incredible experience.
Yeah, and I guess when you're shocked by it, that kind of says a lot, but it does show the power of the moment, right? Do you believe this is more than just a moment?
I do. I really feel like this is a movement that's going to cause lasting change. I think it's going to change the world. I really do.
Yeah, and the energy. I mean, James, you're shaking your head. James Johnson, who I think should be the next Bachelor, by the way. But anyway, why are you shaking your head, saying this is definitely more than just a moment? Unmute yourself. Yeah, there you go.
Well, I think that this is something that the communities across the city and across the country haven't seen before, right? And it's been, if they have, it has been a very, very long time where millennials, might maybe say the Black Panther movement, right? So just millennials are just all over the place, and they're just making it happen in the Black community. And I think that this is more than just a moment. I think this is a movement. I think that people uh, will be uncomfortable because young people will start to voice their opinion. They're starting to find their voice. And when you find your voice, that's when you find your activism. And that's a powerful thing for our communities, and we need it especially at this time. And I'm excited. I'm excited to see what comes from this. You see, the other day I was walking down Linden Boulevard and I seen a young man have a sign walking by himself just says "Hunk if you're for Black Lives Matter." And I got a little choked up because I do so much work in the community and with civic engagement, and it's very hard to get us young people out to the community board meetings, to Democratic club meetings, to block association, or even to church, and just to see this is a movement that is authentic and it's forced by us, FUBU, right?
I really want to ask that question to whoever's watching: is this a movement as opposed to a moment? And Kiara, when you see all the children, the babies, the little hands making signs, you were one of the only people that believed in Mabel. Mabel told me the truth. That she reached out to everybody and they were like, no, we don't want to do a children's march. No, thank you. But you, Kiara, you said yes. Why did you say yes?
I really do feel like children are they are the next voice of the world. And when we're gone, they're going to be the next doctors and they're going to be the next lawyers. So I feel like it's very important to have their voices heard and they can feel like they are also important in society, because often adults are like, oh, like you're just a child, you don't know what's going on. And Tuesday proved all the adults that said that wrong.
Yeah. And it's real change, right, Mabel? You were
Yes.
talking to me about, we saw this in the civil rights movement. You were inspired by that, the Children's March there. Tell me about that and how you're excited that this is all about real change. It's not just talk, it's real change.
Yeah, absolutely. We saw with the civil rights movement, with the Children's March back then, that caused everything to shift. When people saw children leaving school and marching in protest against what was going on, and that they understood that these little children understood what was happening and how it would affect their future, how it would affect their lives. I knew we needed to do it again. Like I knew it needed to happen today. There has to be a 2020 version of it, so that possibly the same things will happen. More change will happen, and their future will be a lot brighter this way.
And you think it's the moms too that could really make it happen? Right?
I really do. I do. After I decided to actually start my own organization because of this, called Moms Moving Forward, because I know
Love it.
mothers feel it the most. We're the ones who have to deal with it. We're the ones who have to answer the questions. We're the ones who have to deal with all of the heartache and struggle. So I feel like the moms are the ones that are behind it, and they're the ones that are going to push it forward. So hopefully this will help.
Yeah, we see, look at that. I'm so touched when I see those little hands making all of those signs. And, I see a lot of dads though out there too. And James Johnson, I have to say, you were saying it is the millennials. I love what you said. Millennials know what they want and you can't tell them what they want. We just know what we want and we're going to do it. We're going to do it.
No questions asked. And I just think about this, just put this picture out, right? So, a lot of us are going to have to go back to work. We don't know when, we have to travel back to the city. Think about Generation Z, Kiara's age, right? And the millennials that might have came home from college, right? It's cool to be Gen Z. It's cool to be Gen Z, right? And think about they're not going to work because you took their summer youth employment. So why are they not protesting? They're going to keep protesting throughout this whole summer. There's no reason for young people to stop protesting at all. So this is not a moment. This is going to happen for some time, and somebody's going to have to answer some questions. And I think Gen Z and the millennials, we have access to a lot more information than our older generations might have, and I think that we're going to apply it. And I think this is going to be fun to watch young people find their voice, find their activists. I mean, people are organizing. It has nothing to do with elected officials. It has nothing to do with this organization, that organization. People are just getting up and say, meet me here on Linden Boulevard, meet me here on Farmers Boulevard, meet me here on Merrick Boulevard. And they're just making it happen. And I'm just excited because it's do the work, ask questions later.
And you know what? Your excitement is so contagious. And L just popped up. That means our viewers are talking. What's going on?
Yeah, we're having a party conversation in the comments. I'm seeing some people. Wister says it's a movement. Joanne says it's true. Keep protesting and making your voices heard. Winston also said, I definitely hope this is a movement and not just a moment in time. I saw a comment also from somebody saying that they have never been to the protest. So I'm wondering if for the person that said that, if you guys can describe one by one what it's like, maybe starting with Mabel, just what the energy is like for someone that may not have actually attended a march yet.
Oh, good question. Yeah.
Sure. They're fun. It's exciting. It's inspiring. When you walk there, you feel a little anxious. If it's your first time, you feel a little bit of anxiety because you're just nervous. You've never experienced it. What's the crowd going to be like? You see the things that are on the news. So you might have a bit of that anxiety, but once you're in it, it's just addicting. Like you want to keep going. You feel a lot of pride in it. You feel it's just a completely beneficial experience. I would tell everybody to at least go to one protest that you really, really, really believe in, something that you really believe in, and it'll change your life.
Wow. James?
One second. Hello? You hear me now?
I can hear you.
Okay, so just think about this for a second. My friend David Sumter, he's from Hollis. You met him on Monica, and he's 27 years old. He's never been to a rally ever, right? And I have friends that have never even seen a protest or even know what it looks like, and it it inspired them. They didn't know what to come out of it, and when it happened, it was like, oh, okay, what are we doing next? And and it just and I think that was important to do that in southeastern Queens. We it's a really conservative neighborhood. You have a lot of older people that live here as well. But I believe the older people, when they see the young people kind of moving and shaking the way they are, they kind of remind them how they was in the civil rights movement. You have a lot of people that actually moved from Harlem to Southeast Queens, right? So they remember what that looked like in the 60s and the 70s, and they're actually excited as well. The elders are excited as well. So I think if you haven't been to a protest before, a rally before, you need to go to at least 3 or 4 of them, and just to see how it just, you might want to just do your own, and it's no, you could just do it. What are you protesting for? How do you feel? Express yourself. And once again, you are finding your voice. When you find your voice, you find your activism.
Wow, and you did that in Kiara. Here you are. I mean, we heard fun, we heard addictive, we heard Kiara. How would you describe it?
Honestly, there are 2 different types of protests that I've experienced. My first ever protest was at Barclays Center on May 29th, 2020, and that one was not very pleasant. The police were very brutal, but that one did shift the way I was going about things. Like, that was the one pivotal for me, because I witnessed police brutality firsthand. Like, I saw what they were doing firsthand, and that's where I am today, like, in my organization and continuing to fight. And the second one is peaceful protest, the one that my organization, Warriors in the Garden, we urge on protesters, peaceful, peaceful. And that one is so empowering because you're being peaceful, but you're making a lot of noise.
Kiara, I can't believe that was your first protest and it was that brutal. It was that
Yes.
brutal. But yet it
Yes.
did not deter you. It just
Yeah.
energized you. It was not I
Yeah.
guess, for me, it's like it doesn't suppress you. It just makes you stronger, right?
Yep.
I love to hear that. And I heard for you that was your first experience at a protest, but then look what happened after that. Now you're energizing, met Mabel, and then you created this children's march, which, by the way, you're going to have an event this weekend, right? I want everyone to know about it. Can you tell us, Kiara?
So tomorrow we're gonna do a march at 12. We're gonna meet at Macy's Herald Square, and we're going to march to the library on 42nd Street and 5th Ave. And we're gonna have children speak again, and we're gonna have pizza for everyone again. And honestly, it's just gonna be like an amplified version of the first one.
Wow, I love it. And Mabel, I just want to end with, what's going on. What can people do, and then what's next? Because James always has what's next. So Mabel, what can people do if they're watching, and what's next?
Well, definitely come to our march tomorrow. Come and be a part of that, especially if it's the first one.
Yeah. We'll put that info at the top.
Yeah, if you've never been to a march or a rally or any protest, this one is definitely a positive one to go to. Obviously, there's a lot of negative things that are happening, and there are some places where you're definitely going to experience that, because this is why we're out. This is the reality of our lives. But if you've never been to one, this is a good one to start at. But I would continue doing my research. I would continue reading books. I'd continue educating yourself as much as you possibly can about what's happening, about why it's happening. I would continue speaking up, especially about what's really, really in your heart, what you really feel is right. And just really continue educating yourself and continue speaking out for the suppressed, people who don't have that option to speak up. And it's not just Black folks.
Junior and Joni, everybody watching, we have quite an audience right now. James, talking to this audience that's captivated by what you're saying. What's next, and what can people do if they're watching right now?
Well, what you can do, I want to keep reiterating this. Keep protesting, keep marching. Don't let the fire die. I believe that you should also understand we are voting, we are protesting to the polls. So we need to get out and vote heavy numbers. Gen Z, millennials, baby boomers, whoever. June 23rd, we have local races all over the city. especially in Southeast and Queens. And we just keep the census. I would just research. We all have these big computers, which are iPhones that worth about $800, right? So we need to use them and research what's going on, understand what laws are being passed. Just think about that. It's 2020. We had to pass a bill to ban a chokehold. Just think about that. Would you go up to a random person, just choke them out? And we just, that's where we're at in 2020. And I think that if we had to go past that bill to ban a chokehold, which might be common sense for some people not to choke somebody out, we're not done. Don't be fooled. Don't pay no mind to the Black Lives paintings that's going to be on the streets in every borough. That's to distract you. That means nothing. Pay no mind to people taking a knee with you. That means nothing. If you want to action, legislation, policy, and also holding elected officials accountable.
So
You
good,
need to
James. You
hold
nailed it.
elected-
You nailed it.
Yeah.
I know. We're clapping about that. Kiara, we're gonna end with you. 20-year-old Kiara, you are amazing. You're a force. Somebody's your age and doesn't think that they can do this. They don't know, how do you start? What should I do?
Honestly, for someone asking how to start, I started by just using my voice. I was walking in the streets and I was just yelling. And then I had various people coming up to me like, oh my God, you inspire me, inspire me. And I just really, like when people tell you you made them stronger, it just keeps you going. Because you know that you have someone else looking up to you. Like you have people looking up to you. And if I have a voice, I'm going to use it for the people that don't really have one and can't really use one.
Yeah, that's so well said. I know. Very good. Damon, Kathleen, everybody watching, I hope you I'm inspired by all of you and I learned from you. And Elle, we had some great comments tonight. What a great show.
Yeah, I'll end on this one that I saw from Sharita that I thought was really sweet. She just said, thank you for continuing to share your stories. Thank you for continuing to fight. And really thank you guys for standing up. So I thought that was just a very positive way to end the show. Thank you guys.
Don't forget Children's March tomorrow, right? Tomorrow. Is it Barclays again, Mabel? No, where is it going to be?
Sorry, this one will be at Macy's Herald Square at 12 tomorrow.
12, Macy's, you got it. And James, anything cooking that we need to know about? I'll be there.
All right, the 21st, Father's Day, 1:30, 1 o'clock, 1:30. We're doing a Southeast Queens Black Man March. All right.
On Father's Day. What a great way to spend Father's
Father's Day. So fathers bring your sons, bring your daughters. This is a positive, symbolic way to show unity as far as the Black man and the Black community. So come on out. I didn't make the flyer yet. We're working on everything, but it's going to happen. So you've known first. You pulled it out of me, Monica. You pulled it out of me.
We got exclusive. Clapping for our healthcare workers and clapping for our leaders. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for everything that you do. Thanks for making it happen.
No problem. Thank you.